Massive thank you to James, PM Fly, Tim, Joseph and Glenn for subscribing to the channel. If you're already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here for the duel in the Formula 1 crown. Yes, we're back, ready for Monaco. Of course, a track that's got so much history, the one that every driver wants to win, and yeah, cannot wait to jump into the Monaco GP today. Of course, if you missed out on yesterday's videos, I would highly recommend going back and checking them out. Of course, first of all, we went to F1's newest track in Miami, and then of course we also had the Spanish Grand Prix as well. Safe to say, the last couple of races have been quite difficult, but we are slowly but surely building up some progress in the team there. Of course, there will be spoilers in just a moment as well. But, you know, if you're not already, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed as well. Of course, trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. You know, the support on F122 has been absolutely insane so far. I cannot thank you guys enough. But we got plenty more content on the way down the line there. But at the moment, though, still trying to get a few more upgrades in the works. So you can see a couple of powertrain upgrades as well as a chassis and durability there. Theoretically, though, Monaco, of course, a completely aero and chassis dependent track, so should suit our car's characteristics a little bit better than recent Grand Prix have done. Championship-wise, though, currently down in 10th place overall in the Constructors' Championship. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz dominating the way in the Drivers' title. We have got 1 point on the board, though, which is better than our teammate Felipe Drugovich, the rookie Zhou Guanyu, or either Williams driver can claim. But fingers crossed this weekend back at Monaco, we can have a good race out. We need to score some big points. It's always cool coming back to Monaco then for yet another race weekend. Of course, a track steeped in so much history, and like I said in the intro, the one that everyone wants to win, but of course can also be very easy. That bit of a disaster here if you don't get a good free practice under your belt. It's such a confidence-based circuit. You know, really does separate the good drivers from the brilliant ones, as starting out on a set of the hard compound tyres. Not sure how much we're going to use these this weekend. Would probably like to avoid them if possible. But so far, trying to pick up good R&D points here early on in the campaign. We need as many upgrades as we can on the car as well early on. You know, big progress early on in this game can make the later stages a whole lot easier. Well, just missing the apex through the Rascas, but up to the line. Rest of the lap pretty good. I think this will only be the green score. Yeah, just missed out on purple. Right, let's get then into our race simulation run. It'll be a good test of our consistency around the venue, and also will give us a good idea of what pace we've got as well. Often the delta here at Monaco can be a little bit funny. The AI very strong over qualifying trim, and then struggle a bit more in race pace over the last couple of games, as it always used to be the other way around. But let's wait and see. There is again a bit of a lock-up up in Upper Mirabeau. Just trying to chase time early on in this session. Towards the end of the first lap then. Always forget you can use the ERS in these programs. Should make things a little bit easier. Oh, getting as close as you dare to the walls, of course. These new F1 cars so much heavier than any previous ones. Means it's even more difficult to try and thread the needle around the Monaco street circuit. But we have done so in this practice program. Another purple score. This is what we need to our energy test. Let's just wait and see if we can try and get another purple score. I've just noticed as well, though, the ICE up to 60% there as well. We just grazed the wall up through Casino Square. Got to keep it tidy. Must admit, during the ERS test, that graphic is very handy there. You can see we're about to use a little bit of ERS, though, over the lap, and that is just going to be a green score in the end. I think that's all we're going to be able to do. Let's get into qualifying then here from Monaco. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. our qualifying day then here in Monaco, and really hoping this weekend we can try and just put ourselves as number one within the team once more. We've really struggled in both Miami and Spain. But fingers crossed, you know, Drugovich had a couple of really decent weekends out. I want to be the number one in this team there. We can't let our F2 rookie rival get in the way of our progress early on F1 2022 as we head out on this first lap. So far been fairly clean and tidy. Of course, Monaco is just a track where you have to put the laps in, you have to get your eye in. So we might try and go for a double run here if we've got the battery for it to get just over the chicane. We are going to take a little bit of a risk with the engine. This is not a venue where you want grid penalties. And of course, unless we're really high up the order, we will probably not want them either. Struggling to form a sentence there towards the end of my Monaco qualifying lap as we head out through the final corner. Out of Anthony Noakes, activate the DRS there, seem to get nice traction down towards the line. We go P6 ahead of Stroll and Norris. That's pretty good. I'll have that very happily indeed. Oh, just almost did our best Kimi Raikkonen impression there as we went through the end of the swimming pool chicane. Charles Leclerc now goes fastest on a 10.9, but we just couldn't quite improve there, as I don't think that lap was impressive as I hoped it was. A lot of other cars going quicker now. I mean, Albon is now right behind us. Right, 9 minutes left on the clock then, as we've got a completely clear track all around me there. Down to P12 at the moment, but if we can make it back into Q2 here, I'd be very, very happy with that as we head back down through turn 1. First time around I got a really nice tidy run through there, but there's definitely a bit of time to find as the lap unfolds, as we just head up through up through Casino Square even, I should say. That big kick of oversteer. A proper 1980s turbo style slide there down the other side, as we're just trying to put all 1,000 horsepower into the road surface here as we head it down through Lower Mirabeau. Just trying to keep it tidy. That gets close to the wall as we dare. As nice traction out in towards the tunnel there. Of course, absolutely hear the revs bouncing off the walls around you. As we head now down into the chicane, braking at the 100 metre there, trying to tap the curbs on the way in. Oh, I'm getting another big stab of oversteer though on the exit, as luckily we hang on to it. But that's definitely throwing away a little bit of time there as we nudge up against the barriers through the next chicane. Oh no! Just let the car get away from herself in the second half of that run. And unfortunately that will be a little bit of damage, but we'll still get enough time to go for one more run here. Damage the rear wing as well there slightly, but yeah, still should get one more run here in qualifying. There's 1 minute left on the clock then here in Monaco, and fingers crossed we're just going to try and find ourselves a bit of space. One more lap then here in Q1 if we want to try and make it into the second qualifying session. Team saying rain might be expected if we do make it through into Q2, but we need to try and get a nice tidy final run here in Q1. We're getting closer and closer to the drop zone, so we absolutely need to improve as we head up through the top of the hill there. Fourth gear on the way in, third gear through the second part. Avoid getting on full throttle over the bump. And then, again, just a bit of a lock up there down through Upper Mirabeau. It's not going to help me. So we've got another car all over my gearbox. I think that's one of the Aston Martins. I just need to focus on my own lap at the moment rather than what they're doing behind me. Come on, we're still just about back into the green there. We're pretty much even as we head into the tunnel. In fact, I think we are exactly square with our previous run. Down in towards the chicane we go, a little bit later on the brakes there. All took a lot of curve that time around, but we get a big stab of oversteer to negate any advantage gain there. Through to back, down just into fifth gear there as we head through the swimming pool. Try and not do what I did last time around there, as again we just kiss the curbs on the exit. Straight line braking into the Rascas, and then one more corner to go here at qualifying in Q1. We're down to P15 at the moment, but we're going to improve by about 1/10.5. That's what we need there. It's only P18. Everyone went faster behind me. Oh, dearie me. Well, our tough start to the season continues then. Max Verstappen fastest in Q1, but I was so worried about other cars improving later on in the session. That's exactly what's happened there. We miss out on Q2 by just under 0.2 of a second to Pierre Gasly, Tsunoda, myself, both Williams, and our teammate, as well as Fernando Alonso down in P20 there. Now I'm tempted, honestly, to take some grid penalties for this weekend. I don't think points are really going to be on the table anyway. We may as well start from the back and try to absolutely hammer it. Drugovich, though, 1.6 seconds away from me. No idea what happened to our teammate this session. But yeah, I'm going to take some penalties then. It's going to be a last question mark challenge here in Monaco. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. The prestigious Circuit de Monaco, then, is not all that dissimilar today to the layout that made its debut almost a century ago. It's 2 miles and 19 corners through the streets of Monte Carlo. And although the average lap speed of around 93 miles per hour is the lowest of the season, the tiny margins for error make it the natural habitat of the safety car. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Russell, Max Verstappen, and Perez, Norris, Bottas, Ricciardo, and Kevin Magnussen, Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Sebastian Vettel, and Joe, Gasly, Stroll, Yuki Tsunoda, and Mr. Monaco, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Latifi, and Felipe Drugovich. And now it's time to head down to the track. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. They've got that grid penalty to worry about, of course, which puts them on the back foot from the get-go.
Yes, it's not the position you want to be in at the start of the Grand Prix. Penalties like this put you in amongst the traffic. But we know they have more pace than those around them, so I expect they'll make some strong progress in the first few laps.
Well, okay, I guess Anthony Davidson feeling confident for us this weekend, certainly more than I am. But yeah, decided we take a whole fresh engine ready for this one today, even though I thought, why not? We haven't really got a lot to lose by doing so here. We may as well start from the back and have a little bit more ponies to try and give us a kick down the straightaways here. But like I said, not really wanting to use the hard tyres around this venue if we don't have to. So we're going to try and do a soft-medium strategy here today then. Of course, yeah, get rid of that hard tyres towards the end. So going to try and make it to about lap 15 on the softs and then 25 laps to the end on the mediums. But of course, a formation lap here at Monaco. Got to try and get the car lined up nicely for the start. As, yeah, I think the game's having a couple of issues working out where we should be. As already then, Charles Leclerc rounding the final couple of corners here, about to line up on the grid for the Monaco Grand Prix. And we're only halfway through the formation lap here as we're just heading down in towards the back. Need to try and work temperature into the tyres though, because the start here can be absolutely critical, especially as we're on softer rubber. We need to try and make up moves nice and early on in the Monaco Grand Prix, try and pick off cars as best as possible. It's going to try and do a couple of burnouts as we head up towards the final turn. Through Anthony Nobes we go. I'm going to try and aim the car for the centre of the road. They're actually very difficult to try and get your car square here if you're starting at the back of the grid in Monaco. We're going to settle for green, I think, this time round. What are we going to be able to do, though, early on in the Monaco Grand Prix? Waiting on those 5 red lights. And it is going to be a very long hold, but lights out, and away we go. And looks like Fernando Alonso hasn't had the best getaway there, and we might be able to have a look up the inside in towards turn 1. We're going to be super aggressive down in towards the first corner there, and it's not going to pay off for me. Big kick of wheel spin as we head over the curb in there. I think the car just bottomed out through the first corner, but we absolutely had to try it off the start there. As to the outside of our teammate Dragovic, no, not quite there. Normally the AI though on Constantina up down in towards upper Mirabeau, and now we'll try and capitalise there up the inside of Dragovic. And what, Latifi? As what's going on here? Absolute traffic jam down in towards the hairpin here and around the outside of a handful of cars there. Can we make it work on Pierre Gasly? No, not quite on the opening lap there, but look at that, up into P17 then straight off the bat. So not only are we back to where we would have started without the penalties, we're actually up an extra spot there. Now in and out for a Tauri sandwich at the start of the Grand Prix. And Pierre Gasly, yeah, on a set of hard tyres, surely he should be a little bit easier to try and navigate here as well. I mean, yeah, we're on 2 steps of softer tyres, but it was just a case of right place, right time there, as the AI Constantinaed up through in towards the hairpin as well. Look at that, Pierre Gasly. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin. Not as impressed with that start as I certainly was there, as I think Sonoda tried to have a look for a move there. As can we try and get the power down out of the final corner and just short shift our way up through the gears to avoid the wheel spin. We might be close to Pierre down towards turn 1. That's not the finest, but there was no contact. We got no warning from the FIA. So you know what? I'm taking it. Okay, Mark loving it. So apparently it was a good overtake then. Not convinced myself, but anyway, we move. All over the back then of Sir Lancelot here, as I'm really hoping, you know, we might just have to spend a couple of laps behind him here to try and eye up where the Aston Martin is strong and where we might be able to get a run there. I'm kind of hoping today though we're going to spend most of the afternoon on softer tyres than most of the cars around me. Just trying to make sure we get a good run out down through the tunnel. Are we going to get close enough to Stroll to maybe have a look? Oh, very, very close there. Almost ran into the back of him. And definitely not that time round. We're going to have to be a bit closer to the Aston Martin if we want to try and do a Sergio Perez down at that chicane. Though at the front of the field, it's still Charles Leclerc though who leads the way ahead of Sainz and both Mercedes. They're Red Bull still 5th and 6th. They are really not having a year to remember so far, and we all thought they'd be a title threat. But it's the age-old conundrum here in Monaco of, do you just try and attack the car in front, or do you just sit back and allow the tyres to cool down? Of course, really have pushed early on in this race. You can see we've got next to no battery left either. But yeah, Stroll, don't think we're really going to quite be able to make a move work on the Aston Martin in the early stages here. I would love to try and get more points on the board here on the streets of Monaco, but I think starting from the back, that was always going to be a tall order. And of course, in the car we've got at the moment, certainly doesn't make it any easier. But we'll keep trying. You never know, a well-timed safety car, something like that, can massively bolster you up the grid. That's what we like to hear from the team there. Still no issues with tyre wear, as we're saying pretty damn consistent lap times. Only 17 thousandths away from my PB. A little touch of oversteer there as we head up the hill. But yeah, just going to try and save the battery for a couple of laps. Not too worried about sticking close to Lance Stroll here, because I don't think we're going to be able to make a move on the road this early on. I think it will just come down to strategy, and of course we've got to try and extend these softs a lot further than the game think we can. Aiming, like I said, to go to about lap 14, lap 15, and then mediums right the way through to the finish. There we go, Team Monaco in at the end of lap 8. I'm certainly going to say no to that plan, as what percentage of the tyre was on? Oh, 46% there, much worse than I thought they'd be. We really are going to have to try and drag them along for a few laps. Let's be a lot more gentle on the rubber. Oh, we're just losing touch of Lance Stroll at the moment, as Gata Sonoda, though, fortunately, isn't coming down behind. So we just glance the guardrail down in towards Larascas here. Just got to be super careful on these tyres at the moment. It's end of lap 9. I've extended them a bit further than the team thought, trying to avoid the wheel spin. But they're up to 56% here. They're going to be well into the 70s. If we can make it to lap 14, this is going to be a difficult end to the first stint. And might really cost us an opportunity at an undercut as well. But we'll wait and see. We'll keep plugging away. I was just about to say Stroll is romping away. And unfortunately now Sonoda, gap's starting to just come down slightly the other way. They're really trying to avoid wheel spin at all costs now. But it's still super difficult. Try and get the car positioned where I need it. It's into lap 12. Those tyres now on the MFD coming up with a red warning. So we have absolutely taken them as far as the game thinks we should. This is really a drive to the tyres explode challenge. There is 74% on that rear left. They are not fun at the moment. I won't lie to you guys, as I can just feel the back end of the car sliding around everywhere underneath me. We're going to have to box at the end of this one. I mean, yeah, we just can't take this any further. That's what are the team now saying in terms of strategy. Do they want me to go hard to the flag? Yes, they do. I, however, do not. We're going to try and still take the softs to the end. We may as well gamble it at the moment, as we're running slightly better than we have done in recent weeks. Still up in P16 there, but now Sonoda getting a bit stuck behind me. Whoa, big slide there as we head through the swimming pool chicanes. Just trying to keep it all in one piece at the moment, as we almost absolutely crashed into the barrier. But in towards the pit lane we go. Make sure we're not speeding on the way in there. We are going to be first car into the box then in this Grand Prix. And of course, yeah, we've got cold rubber on pit exit. But this is going to be really difficult to try and manage the tyres right the way through to the end of the Grand Prix. Didn't feel like we'd pressed that too late, but apparently so. So it is going to be a slightly delayed stop as well. 3.1 still. That's not what we want, but let's see if we can try and get a good safety... Oh, sorry, safety car restart. Pit lane entry, even, I should say, or exit. So we head back down through turn 1. Oh, cold rubber, really difficult. We're going to have to be careful as we head up the hill here. Of course, you're just looking at the sky when you get to the top of the hill there, but to be honest, these tyres feel basically the same as the dead old set. So it actually doesn't feel that different or that challenging for once. 12 seconds the gap up to Drugovich. Let's make sure we don't get overcut by Sonoda. Gap to Drugovich now well under 10 seconds there as at the final corner we go. 13.4. That's like 3 seconds that last lap. We are motoring along at the moment, but we have still just got to be careful here. I mean, it might allow us to do a 2-stop if needed later on in the afternoon. Go back onto a set of soft tyres for the final few laps there. It's all just graze the inside wall through Casino Square. Medium tyres though, feeling good early on. Go, starting to see the first of the AI into the box, then the end of lap 17. So they only reckon they can take the tyres to about half distance then in this Grand Prix. We're going to try and go slightly further than that. Of course, we are doing it on less fuel as well. So still have got faith in this tyre strategy at the moment. It's gap to Drugovich now under 4 seconds. We are really motoring along, catching up to our teammate. Yeah, it's just a case of what we're going to do in the second half of this race. Are we going to see any of the back markers into the pits here as we just navigate our way through the final sector? With a bit of luck, our teammate will dive in. And it looks like he's going to hang out for another lap. So where are we going to re-emerge then? I mean, we might have actually got a bit closer to Lance Stroll once more. And speaking of which, there is the Canadian. Have we got the jump on him? We're going to be side by side when we get back down towards turn 1. And yes, we have. So an overcut, or sorry, an undercut, even though I was never planning on doing in this Grand Prix, has suddenly paid off. And now we're ahead of the Aston Martin here. Was not expecting that. Now all over the back of our teammate Drugovich, really hoping he dives into the pits, which he does there. Pretty much perfect timing and coordination between myself and our teammate, as there's Zhou Guanyu heading out the pit lane. Of course, he's going to be on cold rubber as well when we head up the hill. So am I going to potentially be able to get a run on the Alfa Romeo there to the outside? Oh, wheel to wheel as we head up the hill. Is he going to have the grip on the cold rubber? He understeers out towards me. We have to send it around the outside there, and around the outside we go. At the top of the hill there, a fantastic little move, if I do say so myself. And what we're interested in the gap to Sebastian Vettel before, rather than the worldly of a move we made around the outside of Massenet. Come on, mate. At least get some sort of hype. Well, Sebastian Vettel and I now both stuck behind Pierre Gasly in this Grand Prix. There is Seb on hards, myself on mediums. You can see the other AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda as well, causing a bit of a train further up the road. So maybe there's going to be opportunities here to try and capitalise and pick up cars I normally wouldn't be able to. So Sebastian Vettel there very early on the brakes in through Larascas. Can we do a switchback on the exit of Anthony Nogues? We muscle our way to the inside there, but couldn't quite get the run off the corner to the outside as we head back down towards turn 1. Oh, can we have a look? Do a switchback on him, do what we did to Zhou Guanyu? No, we can't. We'll have a look to the inside instead there. As oh, this is great racing between myself and Sebastian Vettel. And this time around, we get the car up the inside. Oh, he tries to keep the nose there, and I think Seb's walloped the wall, trying to get the nose back up the inside there. I slammed the door shut, I think he thought his front wing was still alongside there when it definitely wasn't. Sebastian Vettel might have damage now in this Grand Prix. If he's managed to keep that out of trouble, fair play to him. And I think looking at those gaps he has there, so fantastic job done by Seb. But we have to be firm. We have to make moves work here. As next up, Pierre, who will box at some point soon. And then we got Tsunoda holding up, I think it's Schumacher and must be Ocon, because of course Alonso is running Alpine again. So there we go, Gasly in at the end of that lap there, so clearly Pierre can read minds. So that's going to now promote someone to P14 then of the Grand Prix. Still don't think points are going to be possible, but a decent result anyway. Remember, when we started at the back, and have had a rubbish car for the last 2 races. Or at least we've been rubbish in the car the last 2 races. There we go. I think Tsunoda is into the pit lane. Yep. 1 lap later after his teammate Pierre Gasly. So we cannot keep doing that towards the end of the Grand Prix. That big oversteer moment at the final corner. We've still got 26 laps to go here from... Sorry, 16 laps to go here from Monaco even, I should say. But certainly over half race distance. But a long old way still to navigate on these tight, twisty streets. It's entering the final third then of this Grand Prix. We've done about half the stint we need to on these tyres. It's looking like, again, they're going to be pretty close towards the end. Already up to about 34% wear across the board, so I'm still going to have to be careful of it. We're losing a little bit of time to Schumacher and Ocon at the road. To be honest, I'm not really worried about them at the moment. If we could walk away with a P13 here, starting from the back, I'd probably be quite a happy man, especially as we finish last in the previous 2 Grand Prix. We've had a rough run of recent form, but looks like, yeah, if ever there was going to be a track where we could try and fight back, Monaco, I always hope is going to be one of those circuits. Always one I look forward to and always one I feel strong at. Right, 10 laps to go then here from Monaco. Tyres really starting to struggle. Well, I think Sebastian Vettel's just made a bit of a mistake though, because the gap suddenly opened up again slightly. But just want to try and hang on to this P13 here. Doesn't sound like anything remarkable, but like I said, after the run of form over the last couple of weekends, fingers crossed, you know, this track can start a bit of a renaissance once more there. I mean, the first 4 races, I mean, Bahrain wasn't particularly, but that's just because we made a bit of a mistake late on in the afternoon. You know, race 2, of course, Jeddah, we just missed out on points after a late race battle. Race 3 in Australia, of course, yeah, that one didn't quite go well again for us, unfortunately. And then, of course, Imola, we did score our first points of the year. Miami in Spain, we just really struggled for pace. But like I said, here at Monaco is always a track, you know, if I've had a rough start to a year, I want to try and turn it around at. And yeah, I mean, P13 on paper isn't that bad when I'd still argue, to be honest, we've got the slowest car on the grid. Oh, we got yellow flags out, I think, somewhere. Oh no, it's just green flags out somewhere. I'm guessing Charles Leclerc is starting to lap people. Because actually, speaking of, is he in this little gaggle of cars? No, he's not. We're alright for now. Charles Leclerc's still a bit further away. There's not just now. That's just upset my rhythm slightly. Just got to keep it careful, keep it tidy here, and don't let Seb get a run. Oh, okay. Looks like one of the Mercs then has had issues. That's why we saw the yellow flags come out. It's not really going to help us at all there, as that was a lot of curb out of the chicane. But yeah, it does now mean, not sure which one that is still, to be honest, because they're going to be ahead of Ocon and Schumacher still, and they're still going to be in the points. Right, 5 laps to go then here from Monaco. Quite surprised the tyre wear warning light hasn't come on just yet. As yeah, I think Seb's just had another weird lap there, because there's no way we're going to continue that form towards the end. But yeah, just got to try and make it through to the checkered flag now. We're doing well still. As there we go, I just said about the tyre warning light, and there it appears. It must have been George Russell then that had issues, as he now goes fastest in the Grand Prix. Our best lap though, less than a second away from that. That's not bad going. Didn't realise we were that close to fastest lap today when we bolted on this set of mediums. So we got Ricciardo into the pit lane then very late on in the afternoon. Not too sure what the McLaren's doing. Are we going to be close by the time he re-emerged there? I think we're going to be way too far behind still, aren't we? Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo heading out the pit lane already there as we're just heading through Anthony Noakes. Saying that, he's not going to be that far in front of me. But 2 laps to go. We've Still just got to bring it home. Don't think we're going to be making a move on a McLaren here.
Okay, so the car ahead.
While rounding Anthony Noakes. Oh, sorry, not Anthony Noakes. Now we're rounding Anthony Noakes to start the last lap here of the Monaco Grand Prix. If I'm not mistaken, I think Charles Leclerc is finally going to be victorious on his home race circuit here in the Monaco Grand Prix. Round the final corner up towards the line. No! No, he's not. It's Carlos Sainz there. No idea when Sainz got the jump on Charles Leclerc then in this Grand Prix. But Carlos Sainz, win number 2 of the year for the Spaniard there. And the one that they all want to win is now his. Means the gap at the top does come down ever so slightly here as our tyres are completely gone on this final lap there. I think Sebastian Vettel might just give me a little bit of a push down in towards the hairpin here, because, I mean, it's like driving on jelly at the moment as we just try and navigate this final lap of the Grand Prix. No, he certainly isn't dropping back 3/10 a lap. There is, look at that, 70% on all 4 tyres here. We really have tried to drag the strategy out today, but, I mean, we absolutely had to. Otherwise, we just would have been confined to battling right with the back markers when all is said and done here. It might be an interesting P13, but it fills me with a bit of confidence as we head in towards the next few races of the campaign here. Daniel Ricciardo sneaks away, won't even get fast lap bonus point. He's not inside the top 10 there. But rounding the final corner from last on the grid, we're going to come through for P13 here in Monaco. I'll have that.
And that's the end of the race. See you in Parc Fermé.
What a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. What do you think it was today, Ants, that gave them the edge over the competition?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. This result then narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They pushed and pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Well, there we are then, guys, the end of the Monaco Grand Prix there, and Carlos Sainz takes the race victory just under 2 seconds ahead of his teammate there, Charles Leclerc. Hamilton comes through for P3 there, so another podium for Mercedes ahead of Verstappen and Sergio Perez, with Lando Norris, Bottas, K-Mag, Russell and Esteban Ocon rounding out the top 10 there. We come through with a bit of trainer cars behind us, but that's the way sometimes it goes here on the Monaco streets. Just so, no, of course everyone made it to the end of the Monaco Grand Prix this season. It's a shame Drogovic was again last, though, when all is said and done there. Taking a look, though, at the Drivers' Championship does mean Hamilton jumps Perez, Magnussen jumps George Russell there, so one Mercedes moves up the order, the other one gets jumped by a Haas early on in the campaign. Lando Norris, with that big result, jumps past Yuki Tsunoda, and Pierre Gasly, of course, will still sat in P18. Constructors-wise, though, Alfa Romeo jump Alpine as well after another solid weekend for them. Really, Alfa Romeo and Haas getting carried along by Ferrari power units early on in the game there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do make sure to leave a like and get yourself subscribed. And yeah, we will return tomorrow, ready in Baku. You guys do not want to miss that. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.